Hello, V Squad. This is your girl V, and we are back with another episode of V Girl TV. Super excited because if you know anything about El Museo de Reggae en Español, you would know about this man's history. We are here with the legendary Reggae Sam. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. It's an honor. You know, we've been talking for quite a while now. So, due to the respect it's due. So, we are here to talk about the reggae history in Panama, in Spanish, in English, the way it started. So, we are here. We're ready now.
Yes, because it took me a while to actually get in contact with this man because you're a busy man. You be in the Compinche. The last time you was in New York. So I was just like, Jesus Christ, are we ever going to get a chance? But yes, we are finally here. Okay, so first of all, a lot of you have seen the video that I did with Renato, and he spoke about you a lot during that interview. Okay. But before we get into that, I want to know more so about your childhood, you growing up in Panama. What part of Panama are you from?
I was born in Colón, but at the age of 5, I was brought to Parque Lefebvre. Who don't know, is a Riobao area, and we was moved into Parque Lefebvre, Calle 13. So my mom took us, our 3 kids, which my 2 sisters and myself, and so it all started in Calle 13, Parque Lefebvre.
Now, around that time when you moved to Parque, what was it like? Was it very much a Caribbean community? Was it filled with a lot of black people? Like, what was the culture back then?
The culture was a multicultural. It was a lot of Spanish people that speak lots of English, and the speaking, it was fluid more than English than anything. It could be like the mother of one would be the mother of everyone, because once that lady talk to you, you better listen. Mm-hmm. You better listen, because even your mom friends could tell you and hold you and take you to their house and say, hey, aquí está tu hijo, here's your son doing this. And when you go home, you start saying it wasn't me before you start getting slapped and whapped.
How did you even get introduced to music? What was it about music that you love so much?
Well, really, music, it always have to start somewhere, someone, some group, anything, whatever you see. In my end of the story, music was more calypso. Was much calypso that was going on. It wasn't nothing about reggae itself. It was more the calypsonian them having the duty on the mark with the music. And we used to listen to Lord Cobra, Lord Cantique, Lord Panama, Cinco Dedos, which is Lord Delicious, and so on and on. That's the way my mom, my dad, my aunts, my grandma, everybody used to start listening to music. And you get into it, and we start just singing the songs. But that is what inspired me, because it wasn't mostly a singing, it was a rhyming. You guys call it freestyle now. Freestyle started a long time with Calypso. Because if you wouldn't freestyle, you was out of style. And you will go home crying once one get bite, as in, oh, me tang vacilando, and you rhyming on top of him. That's the fun for the night, that person. Some will leave the group and go home.
But you have an accent, which is what kind of confuses a lot of people. You have like a Caribbean West Indian accent. Why is that?
You just give me an accent. I didn't know I was absent, not having an accent now. But I'm just, I guess because my family is strictly English. They just speak English, and I mingle and tangle and bungle with a lot of Jamaicans in Jamaica, out of Jamaica, and I would always say, I will speak how them speak. I will never, if I say, I would even go to the market with them, and if them say, why go on? I say, well, I'm a day I'm on. So I remember being with Renato in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So when I introduced him, we was buying stuff on the street, and they like, and Renato would say, yo, I want to get some of that, I want some of that. So the guy started talking to me, yo, what college boy it is? So them call the guy Flaco, so I just keep saying, yo, Renato, Vamos a hablarle a esos manes bien para que no vendan la vaina barato. So I said, no, Flaco, man, I'm a brethren, man. Just keep the man, just a little bit, man. We don't have no money, so right now we just Chris on the pocket, think the fence broke. You know, when you say the fence broke down, them know so we don't have no money. So I saw it go on and no collaterals around, and money still, see? But Renato is a speaking well person, but I dance with everyone who dance with the lingua. I dance with the lingua.
I'm just curious to know, where's your grandmother from?
My grandmom is from France,
Wow.
and my grandpa is from Jamaica.
Okay, so that's where.
So my grandma is from the Pelage, and my grandfather is from the Biscom. So, and that's when I come.
So, but that's why you have an accent, because there's a lot of Panamanian people, like my parents is from Cologne, they speak just like that. And growing up in New York, people will always say like, why they talk like that? Are you Jamaican? And I'm like, no, we're not Jamaican, we Panamanian. They're like, well, I thought Panamanians were Spanish. And then you have to go into a whole explanation as to why they have that twang.
You know, really, that's where Panamanians, sometimes we don't look into it really deep and good. We are versatile when it comes to music, when it comes to sport, when it comes to anything and everything, because we can park with the Puerto Ricans, and like we can park with the Dominicans, like we can park with the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, and whoever speak, we in the middle. I hear what you say. Yo entendí lo que tú dijiste, así que. And that's it. That's why we're versatile with the music. And we dance anything from ping ding to any type of swing, typical, straight down to soca, straight down to bachata, balada. A quarter drop on the floor and it's song we dancing. Anything song like music. Panamanian know the swing, man. That's how we roll.
So at what age did you actually start? Now let's move forward. What age did you actually start singing reggae in Spanish, or did you start singing reggae first?
I start singing reggae in English, but when we say English, because the crowd was English. Now we confuse the today. We confuse it today because we seeing what today is. As I try to tell you before the first conversation we have, if you're going to give me an interview, let me speak the truth of the history and not what everybody want to hear about.
Exactly.
But, reggae. Them didn't like reggae because I was all black. So I have to be careful sometimes when I say, here you come and try to play the racist card, you know?
Right.
But it's not about that. It's about what happened. I was there. I was one of the initiators of this. So it's not like, here you're talking. Now, if we talk about reggae, it was not the same type of music that you're listening today. This was way back when. And that's what I'm keep saying. Now, I have a problem with it now. Because it's like, them white we out of it now. I don't know if them throw Clorox and wipe them up and white them up. But as I say, I gotta be careful how I say it, because there's someone always will just change the subject and say, no, I'm talking about the white and black. I know that. It's not none of that. It's just back then what belonged to Caesar was to us, and now what belongs to us, they take it from us. Reggae music is a business for who don't like it. There's a lot of people that didn't like it, don't like it, but if there's the business, that's the business. That's the business, and so on and so on. So that's the way I felt music back then. And I said it before, if you talk about Nando Boom is a brother. If you talk about Renato, is another brother. And when I say a brother, I mean in black. And so on and so on. Chicho Man, the same thing. Reggae Sam, the General. And the next money of it, spin that quarter around. Where they all from? They all from Rio Ball. And if they who not from Rio Ball, from Cologne, who not from Cologne, from Bocas. I mean, it's a West Indian movement.
Exactly.
Now, if I talk to you guys and say about, let's say about when I'm saying, La Etnia Negra, I am happy to see how it turned out. But this been going on a long time. They used to do it in the school of El Episcopal San Cristobal. And this is where everything started. But it was very minimized because that's where my grandparents, great-grands, try to start out this culture that today, who don't want it, them better bite it and eat it, because now this is it. It turned to be a little more, or I would say a big portion of respect to just, hey, this is a black people, celebration, so let's be part of it.
Okay, so at what age did you actually start singing reggae?
I started when I was 12 into 13, but I wouldn't say that I start because we used to just, as you know the word, pregonar. Pregonábamos en las esquinas. You always a post on a big garish struck there and whatever, and we just hit anything, keep singing, keep rhyming, and that's where we start practicing music. The rhyming was it. That's where we talk the Spanglish, and you just come up with a piece in English, come up with a piece in Spanish, come up with a piece in English. And there was a moment when I met Renato, and Renato introduced me to Louis Philippe, which is a Huicho. So pretty much that's how we start out. Back then I was into responsibility because Renato came up to me was to record one of the first songs, La Chica de los Ojos Café. So I couldn't say that I couldn't do it or didn't want to do it. Of course I would, but I was under pressure in the family house. So I told him, no, you know that I have this girl pregnant. I'm waiting on my first child, and it was a little catastrophe for me. And them say I have to start going to school at night and start working in the morning. And issue to it, that was the situation. And the next thing is history. So that's it.
But what is the history? We want to know. The people want to know about this history because he spoke about you a lot in that interview, actually in a good way, obviously. And he credited you a lot for his career.
I could tell you one of the things, and Renato is a person, humble, very humble person, nice person. And I don't know if he talked to you about one of the first music with this group from Cologne, having an LP by the name of Treatment. And when we are talking about a battle, and this is a part I don't like the battle about who start first, who start. Regardless of who start first and who start second or who start third, we running last. Because everybody taking over and we still running over. And just being ignorant and talking against one another. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. No, the issue with that, as in saying, there was this LP and they gave it to, I think Papi Almanza was his name, and he gave it to this guy from 4th Street, Riobao, by the name of Ulises Sosa. Ulises Sosa came with the idea with me and Renato and say, hey, van a hacer un LP. And this LP, we want to give it to the people in Cologne. This guy, Guyana, and the other Guyana, which is actually was from Guyana, living in Panama.
Wow.
But he was in 14th Street, Riobao.
Okay.
But he moved to Cologne. When Guyana was moved to Cologne, Guyana find in Cologne what fit in him, and he stay in Cologne because I've went to Cologne and you know what, that fit. It fit him, and he stays in Cologne. He got the opportunity to record an LP, which was supposed to be side A for them and Super Nandi, and side B for Renato and myself. What happened then? The music was not given unto us. So they make the music, and days after, Renato came to me and said, hey Sam, them record loco, and them didn't give we the music. And I said, but where are we supposed to go and record? We waiting. So he said, no, somebody record, and then the other person take the next side. That's the real truth at that story.
You mean on the instrumental? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that was a live band.
Okay.
It was a live band, and they call it El Grupo Cheb. So if I say Cheb, you say what? Cheb was the initial of each member of the band.
Okay.
The name, the Cheb, you put the C, that was Carlos. You see? And then the H, that was the next guy named Hector. You see what I'm saying? And then you have, I think, Eddie. And then the other one, no, that was Egbert. Egbert was his name. And the other one was last name was called Brown. So they just put the initial, El Grupo Cheb. And the other artist from Cologne was supposed to be on it. Side B was supposed to be for Renato and myself. But they made it. In Spanish or whatever we said, no plancharon. Them just run we over with the bus. So Renato said to me, you know what? Them just do everything and lead us out of the business. And I tell him, you know what, don't worry. I mean, I was upset. I was mad. And I said, don't worry, boy. Then go and eat a cable. Trust me, China. They eat the biggest cable. You see, when you operate with that, and I said it. I said it because I think that's the problem we have with one another. We don't support. And when we jealous, we don't jealous with a malice. We jealous because we want to be in that position that person is. And we're not happy. So for you to be happy, you have to be part of it. Like all my children would have asked me about, oh, what government is good? Let me tell you all something. What government is good? The only government is good is a government that you are apart from. If you are apart from it, that's good for you. Because remember, politics is politics. So if you can't get part of it, and I can vote for you because you're a nice person and a good person, but this girl over here, she corrupt, but she feeding me, that's all I'm good.
Right.
Now we have a lot of people going to prison because they steal 10, 20, 15 million dollars. I might say something y'all don't like. Make the government give me 50 million. I go jail just today. Y'all don't want to hear that, but that's what they doing. Who won't go jail for 5 years for $50 million? Let's be real.
Not me.
I will. Reggae Sam, remember that. I will. Because my family going to be steady and ready. Y'all might say, oh, why you said that? Because I in a world of politics and politricks. This out here is dirty with dirty tricks. So it's not something that I'm willing to do or that I will do. It's something that I'm seeing, that I'm living. You live that every day. So instead of I go and beg them better come and beg me. That's the truth of my facts. So for my facts, I don't pay tax. So you know it. Go, Philip, big respect.
So they cut you out the deal, and obviously you felt some kind of way. How were you able to overcome that now?
By just, first of all, separate myself from it and try to look for mines and start recording. But then I started to have a problem. I don't want nobody manage me because you have some manager that them is damager. So that's I was coming with the, one thing with me, I could not look at you and say, and you could ask me, hey, you sing reggae? When I say yes, I'm wicked like that, I'm wicked like that. I don't re. But yeah, I do my thing. I don't do my thing. I wicked in my thing.
Okay.
So that's how I go. I go for it. And you put me for an audition, I tear that up. Because I know that's what I have under my shoes lace. So that's how I do my thing. But I think what not close the door, but just tighten my door. I didn't want nobody damage me. I mean, manage me. That was a kind of trick. Slick.
So then, if you didn't have a manager, because you did go on to record a few songs of your own, how were you able to do that with someone actually not managing you?
Because I met a friend. I started to look for myself out. And I record a song by the name of Fatty Fatty. By then, they didn't call me Reggae Sam. They was calling me Sam the Reggae Man. Sam the Reggae Man, and I'm going to go to that. Sam the Reggae Man came up with, if our parents back and elders, my age, knows about HOG, this radio station. And this guy, Vicente Watson, he is the one who gave me the name because when I was in El Episcopal San Cristobal, they had a show, flow show, fashion show. And there was these Spanish guys from Riobao and Vicente Watson, and he point at me and say, hey, you next. What's your name? And I just look at him and say, my name is Sam. He say, no, what's your artist name? I said, damn. I said, I don't know artist name, I'm Sam. So he said but what you going to sing? I said, reggae. So he looked at me and said, well, you don't have a name? Let me see. And he just popped that out from nowhere. He said, well, Sam, and you going to sing reggae? Well, Sam the Reggae Man. And I look at him and say, okay. That was where that name came from. Now, with Luis Philip and the group with Renato, when we formed name La Cuatro Potencia, they said it was too long. Sam the Reggae Man. So they what about Reggae Sam? And I said, go with it. I just roll with it. And that's how Reggae Sam came in. But in this group, when the guy told me Sam the Reggae Man, the Spanish guy looked at me and said, esa música que? And Vicente Watson said, ese reggae. Reggae de chombo. That's why you say. No, I said the word chombo. You know you couldn't call me chombo back then. Big fight. That's why I'm saying you're supposed to put your history and make people just learn. I can't measure with what's going on now and what was going on before.
Right.
Before now is a bunch of chumbo. Back then you can't call me chumbo. By the way, I don't know how much time I fight for you calling me chumbo. Chumbo or no, yeah, you know why in the back of that. So it was big time things, but that's all the name. No, I didn't get to put my own name. Vicente Watson is who blessed me with the name and said, well, when the guy said, esa música, ¿qué esa música esa? He said reggae. So the guy was like, oh, reggae de música de chombo. That's how the guy cleared it out. And when they called me up on stage, it was Sam the Reggae Man. Until moving on, Renato and myself singing. Renato was deep into it because Renato was a DJ. And he was playing for Electro Disco. And also Renato was into the dancing. So he have his own group and a lot of other groups that he owned or he built up. And that was history also. That's where Renato started, versatile and everything. And I don't know if you know, and when we had a team about basketball, Renato need to be on my team because I was one of the baddest man playing basketball in Riobor. Even though my respect to the Grenada, when I mean basketball, I mean we used to call it birria. This one against this one, and once we play, well, Renato was bad in basketball too. I don't know right now Renato how it looking, but he was one of the top playing basketball. And we remember all of that. Remembering too, we used to jive Renato, molest Renato, because Renato didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know that.
He did say that, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we used to just joke around it, dance. One of the best dancers too in Riobor. We had a lot of representation. I remember when Muhammad Ali came to the I Nacional Panama, Renato popped that show out. 1983, may this man rest in peace, Juan Vaz had a big show in El Teatro Rio. That was the biggest theater in the entire Panama, in Riobor. Remember when we used to go in the theater with Capa sodas, Malta Vigor, 10, 20 Malta Vigor, and you can go in the movie. Can't do that now. Can't do that now, but hey, that's my part of my history. That's what I live. I was there, walking home from where you was. My mother closed the door on me, girl, let me tell you. I have to call through the window for my sister to open up the door. Wait for my mother to sleep off. And, Elena, ábrame la puerta. But my sister had my back door. She opened up the door. But yeah, that's where we at. That's where we at.
So after you recorded your songs, they became a hit here in Panama. So did you record here in Panama or did you record in